Have you ever noticed how perfectly functioning relationships suddenly turn into a zone of pure turbulence for no apparent reason? This is not chaos. This is a controlled test. A woman subconsciously injects a dose of venom into your dialogue just to see how your immunity holds up. If you start getting angry, or trying to prove you are right, or even worse, apologizing for things you did not do, you are infected. You failed the test and voluntarily handed over the keys to your reality. Everyone believes in the fairy tale of equality, but in the world of dark psychology, the frame always belongs to someone. Either she lives in your world or you become a hostage to her mood. Today, I will name 7 signs that you are being tested to the breaking point. By the end of this video, you will become the man whose peace cannot be bought. Write, "I hold the frame" in the comments. Let us begin. Your biggest loss in a relationship did not start with an affair or a massive scandal. It started the moment you became reactive and voluntarily left your house. In dark psychology, there is a concept called the house effect, or the master of the space. Whoever sets the rules owns the territory. Whoever makes excuses psychologically shrinks and becomes a guest in someone else's reality. Most men make a fatal systemic error. They react to a woman's words instead of her state. If she criticizes your lifestyle, you immediately rush to build logical barricades. You pull out your calendar and start proving you are right with numbers and facts. Stop. You just lost the game before it even started because you left your house to go make excuses on her porch. Imagine a typical evening in an American living room. You stayed late at work or met with partners. She says, "Why did you not call? I waited for you for 2 hours. You do not care about my feelings." The typical reaction of a weak man is to start making excuses. "Honey, I am sorry. I was so busy in a meeting. My phone died. My boss kept me an extra hour. I really wanted to call, but I couldn't." At that moment, you psychologically shrink. You turn into a schoolboy explaining to the teacher why he did not do his homework. You recognized her right to be your prosecutor. You entered her frame, her boundary of reality where you are guilty. Niccolo Machiavelli understood that a leader who justifies his actions to his subjects immediately loses the sacred status of the master of the space. A woman is not testing you to get a report on your work hours. She is doing it to see how easily you can be lured out of your house of confidence. She is like the ocean hitting the shore to check if it is still as solid as yesterday. If the shore crumbles into the sand of excuses, she loses her sense of security. Her instincts scream, "If he makes excuses so easily over my complaint, how will he stand against a real enemy?" Right today, start training your status as the master of the space by replacing excuses with facts. The next time she asks why you did not call, do not apologize. Do not give a list of reasons. Maintain total calm. Use the master formula. "My day was very tight. I am available now." Feel the difference. In the first case, you were asking for forgiveness for being busy. In the second case, you simply stated the fact of your reality. You did not shrink. You stayed in your house. You transmit, "My world works by my rules, and I am the boss of it." The mechanics of this are devastating. Your lack of excuses creates a vacuum in which her attempt to seize power over your time suffocates. She expects you to fidget so she can feed off your energy. When she hits a calm fact, her frame collapses. You remain the master of the space simply because you did not let someone else's mood or questions drive you out of your zone of sovereign confidence. You transmit a strength that is above all excuses. The first sign of a break test is a sudden coldness after a period of perfect intimacy. On the outside, it looks like a technical glitch. Yesterday you were making plans and laughing, and today she gives one-word answers, avoids eye contact, and will not put down her phone. This is not depression or just a bad day at work. This is the managed creation of a vacuum. She is injecting a dose of artificial scarcity to see if you will start suffocating and begging for her attention. Imagine a typical ghosting scenario. You send her a message with interesting news or a question about plans for the evening. She sees the message but does not reply for 3 hours. Then she sends a dry, "Okay," or "We will see." In a normal life, you would start fidgeting. You would ask, "Hey, is everything okay? You're being weird today." Or even worse, "Did I do something to upset you?" In dark psychology, this is called a neediness check. If you start blowing up her phone or demanding explanations, you lose. You just officially admitted that your self-esteem and your mood depend entirely on her temperature. You became predictable, cheap, and most importantly, manageable. A manipulator sees that the keys to your inner world are in her pocket. As soon as a woman realizes she can strip you of your peace with 1 hour of silence, she stops seeing you as a leader. Your tactic at this moment is to become even more busy, autonomous, and successful than usual. If she goes cold, you immediately go to ice, but without a drop of resentment or passive aggression. You simply flip the switch of your attention to more important objects. Work on your body in the gym, your business, your strategic goals, or meet up with friends you have not seen in a while. Do not ask about why she is silent. Do not demand explanations. Your silence in response to her coldness is the loudest scream about your strength. You transmit the fundamental message: I enjoy being with you, but I am absolutely fine without you. The mechanics of this action break her script. She expected to see your panic and attempts to fix the relationship. When she hits your total self-sufficiency, her survival instinct sounds the alarm. Now she is the one who starts fearing losing you. As soon as she realizes that her distance does not cause you even a shadow of worry, she will start looking for a way back into your world. You kept your frame and did not let yourself be turned into an emotional beggar. The second hidden sign is sudden criticism of your decisions in areas where you are an undisputed expert. She might question your choice of route on a road trip, your business methods, or even your style of dress. On the outside, it looks like innocent curiosity or just an opinion. But in reality, it is a sledgehammer hitting the load-bearing wall of your authority. She injects a dose of doubt to see if you will start scurrying around and proving your professional competence. Imagine you're driving to an important meeting in a neighborhood in Chicago you do not know well. You know exactly where you are going, but she suddenly says, "Why did you turn here? Google shows there will be traffic in 3 blocks. You should have taken Lake Shore Drive." The typical reaction of a weak man is to start making excuses or reach for the phone. "No, wait, I checked 10 minutes ago. There's road work there, so I chose this path. Look for yourself." The mechanics of this test are simple and brutal. If you open your phone to show her restaurant reviews or start explaining why your business plan will work, you lose. You just recognized her as the supreme judge of your reality. You voluntarily stood on a stool and started reporting to a child who does not understand the rules of the game. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler who seeks the approval of his subordinates for his decisions quickly loses the right to the throne. Your need to be understood is your biggest strategic weakness. When you make excuses, you transmit uncertainty. Her instincts read this instantly. If he shakes this much over choosing a road, how will he make a decision in a real crisis? A woman subconsciously looks for a leader whose vision is unshakable. Doubt is a test of your ability to hold the wheel when there is fog all around. The next time she says you are wrong or suggests a better way in your zone of competence, do not argue. Do not bring up arguments. Pause slightly. Look at her with a kind, calm smile of an adult watching a cranky infant. Say one short phrase, "I know what I am doing," or "Just trust me." If she continues to insist or grumble, just keep doing what you planned. Do not raise your voice. Do not enter a debate. Your right to action without explanation is the highest form of social power. When she sees that her skepticism does not cause even a shadow of irritation or doubt, her instincts will calm down. She will feel that next to her is a rock that cannot be moved by words. This is the iron frame in action. You are not fighting for leadership. You are simply transmitting it. The third sign is the dirtiest and most effective tool for testing your composure. She might casually mention the success of a colleague, his new car, or how beautifully her ex-partner treated her 5 years ago. In dark psychology, this is called triangulation. She creates artificial competition to see if the fire of jealousy, resentment, or a hunger for her approval will ignite in your eyes. You are having dinner at a restaurant, and she casually drops a line. "By the way, I saw on LinkedIn that Michael from my old office became a VP. He's only 30, and he already bought a house in the Hamptons. It's incredible how some people rise so fast, right?" The reaction of a weak man is to defend himself or devalue. "Yeah, Michael just got lucky with his parents," or "A house in the Hamptons at that age is probably a massive loan. He is drowning in debt." As soon as you open your mouth to put down another man, you lose. You officially confirmed your fear. You showed her that you feel a threat to your status. You entered a competition that cannot be won because by the very fact of the argument, you recognized Michael as a worthy rival and yourself as a participant in a race for her admiration. A leader does not compete. He is outside the hierarchy because he creates the rules of his own reality. The best reaction to a triangulation attempt is a sincere, almost indifferent agreement with the fact of someone else's success. This kills the manipulation in the bud. In response to her story about Michael and his house, just nod and say calmly, "Yeah, a house in the Hamptons is a great result. Good for him." Then pause and immediately return to your business or to the topic of conversation that was important to you. Do not ask follow-up questions about Michael. Do not develop the topic.
The mechanics of this move paralyze the manipulator. You demonstrate that your self-esteem is so monolithic that someone else's success cannot even scratch the surface. You transmit a powerful message. I know who I am, and I do not need to prove I am better than someone else to feel confident. Your composure makes her attempt at control through jealousy meaningless. She will realize this lever does not work on you. You are the only center of power in your life. The fourth sign is the systematic and blatant violation of your time boundaries. She is 30 minutes late for an important dinner or changes plans 5 minutes before you leave the house. On the outside, it is presented as feminine forgetfulness or traffic or trouble choosing the perfect dress. But in reality, it is managed chaos. This is a test of how cheap your time is and how much disrespect you are willing to swallow just to have her around. You must understand one thing. In dark psychology, this is called the loss of market value. Every time you sit and wait for an extra 20 minutes, you are literally hanging a sign around your neck that says, "My time is free. Take as much as you want." Imagine you booked a table at a restaurant where reservations are made a month in advance. You are already there, and at 8:15 she texts, "Oh, I'm just drying my hair. I'll be there in half an hour. Order me something for now." The hostess tells you that in 10 minutes your table will be given to other guests. The typical reaction of a weak man is to start blowing up her phone, getting nervous, and humbling himself before the hostess, begging for a few more minutes. Or even worse, writing to her, "No big deal, honey, I will wait, take your time." When she finally shows up 40 minutes late, you meet her with a forced smile, pay the bill, and spend the evening like nothing happened. You are infected. You just officially confirmed that your principles and your time are a secondary resource she can spend as she pleases. You became predictable, obedient, and boring. In the eyes of a woman, a man who allows his time to be stolen is incapable of managing his own life or her safety. You voluntarily surrendered your frame in exchange for her company. You just bought yourself years of contempt for the price of one ruined dinner. Implement a strict rule in your life that I call the 15-minute protocol. If she is more than 15 minutes late without a valid warning of a real emergency, you leave, without anger, without parting texts of complaint. Order yourself a glass of whiskey, drink it, and leave at exactly 8:15. You simply disappear from the waiting space and immediately go about your business. The mechanics of this are devastating to her script. When she finally arrives at the restaurant or goes out to the car and does not find you there, her world will shake. When she calls in a panic and asks where you are, answer as calmly and steadily as possible. "I had plans scheduled and I could not wait longer than 15 minutes. Have a good night." That's it. No exclamation marks. Do not offer to move the meeting to an hour from now or to today. Your task is to make her feel a real physical loss of your most valuable resource, your time. You are not punishing her or trying to appeal to her conscience. You are simply living by your rules, where your time is expensive. This is the only way to teach a person to value your frame and respect your boundaries. A leader always leaves when he is no longer respected. You just bought yourself years of respect for the price of one missed date. The fifth hidden sign is an open attack on your authority in front of third parties. She might allow herself a biting remark at your expense during dinner with friends, or demonstratively interrupt your story at the most interesting part to switch attention to herself. On the outside, it looks like a harmless jab or just a funny comment, but in reality, it is social dumping. She is injecting a dose of venom into your status as the group leader to see how you handle losing face before the pack. In dark psychology, this is called a fitness for leadership test. The pack, whether it is your friends or colleagues, always reads the hierarchy. If a woman can devalue your word without consequence, then your word is no longer worth anything to the entire group. You just lost the position of leader and moved into the category of service staff, whose feelings and plans can be ignored. Imagine you are at a corporate party or a neighborhood barbecue. You are passionately talking about your investments in a new startup or plans for business expansion. At the most critical moment, she loudly interrupts you. "Oh, guys, do not listen to this dreamer. He has been talking about this for 6 months, but still cannot fix the faucet in the bathroom. Why don't you tell everyone how you mixed up the laundry detergent compartments yesterday?" Laughter fills the room. Everyone is looking at you. The typical reaction of a weak man is either to laugh awkwardly with everyone else, accepting the status of a jester, or to start defending himself aggressively. "Why are you doing this in front of everyone?
I am dealing with important things, and the faucet is a small detail. In both cases, you lose. If you laughed, you officially accepted the status of an omega. If you exploded in a shout, you lost your composure. Machiavelli knew that a ruler who loses his temper publicly loses the very essence of his power, its sacred non-reactivity. You became predictable, weak, and funny. The pack saw that your armor can be pierced by a simple domestic comment. The next time she tries to undermine your authority in front of people, apply the 4-second protocol. This is a surgical tool of suppression. As soon as she drops her jab, stop talking immediately mid-sentence. Completely remove any emotion or smile from your face. Slowly turn your head and look her straight in the bridge of the nose in total silence for exactly 4 seconds. The mechanics of this are devastating. These 4 seconds stretch like an eternity. The social noise in the company will instantly vanish, and the laughter of those around you will be replaced by an awkward cough. Everyone will feel your heavy psychological pressure. You create a zone of high tension in which her joke suffocates and dies. You are not defending yourself, you are becoming the judge. Then, in a calm and as low as possible steady voice, looking her in the eyes, say one short phrase. We will discuss this in private. And immediately, without waiting for her answer, turn your gaze back to the person you were talking to and continue your story from the exact place where you were interrupted as if nothing happened. Your readiness to immediately mark boundaries without hysteria, shouts, or excuses is a sign of the highest level of dominance. You kept the face of a leader without descending to the level of a market argument. You just taught the whole pack a lesson. Attacking you is not worth the cost. The 6th hidden sign is a sudden change of mood from perfect to icy for no apparent reason. This is the creation of managed chaos in your head. The 7th sign is direct or hidden blackmail of your values. She might say that if you go to the gym with your friends, she will be offended or go stay with her mom. This is a test of your readiness to betray yourself for her momentary comfort. In dark psychology, this is called hostage-taking. Your free time, your hobbies, and your goals become hostages to her mood. If you give in, you pay the ransom with your authority. Imagine you planned to go to the gym on Saturday morning, which you agreed on 3 days ago. And suddenly, at breakfast, she sharply changes her tone and says, "You know, I thought we would spend this morning together, go to that new brunch place. If you leave for your workout, I will understand that I am in last place for you." The typical reaction of a weak man is to start scurrying and making excuses. "Honey, we agreed. Well, okay, let me move the workout to the evening. Just don't be mad." Stop. You just committed an act of betrayal toward yourself. You showed her that your goals and your schedule are Play-Doh that she can mold into whatever she wants. The mechanics of these tests are the same, to throw you off balance and force you to adapt to her needs. Clinical analysis shows that men who constantly adapt to a woman's changing moods eventually become biologically uninteresting to her. You stop being a rock and turn into a weather vane. This is the path to total loss of sexual attraction and respect. Stoics taught that masculine virtue is loyalty to your internal law, regardless of external storms. Your tactic in moments of ultimatums is to use the guilt loop. A manipulator wants you to feel guilty for your choice. Your task is to shift the responsibility for that emotion back onto her. In response to her line about last place, apply the responsibility return technique. Say calmly and softly, "I am sorry you chose to interpret it that way, but I planned a workout and I am going to it. I will be home at 12. If you want to have lunch, let me know." You are not arguing with her accusation. You are not proving she is in first place. You mark her words as her personal, subjective interpretation. You chose to interpret it that way, for which you bear no responsibility. You do not destroy her reality, but you refuse to enter it. You stay in your frame. And most importantly, you leave. Even if she is very upset and demonstratively slams the door, your stability is the only anchor that will eventually pull her back into your reality. She must feel that your life is a train running on the tracks of your purpose. She can be a passenger on this train, but she will never be its conductor. Your readiness to lose her to maintain your frame is what makes you a truly valuable prize. You do not buy love with concessions. You earn respect by being loyal to your principles. Now, look honestly at yourself. Are you not failing these tests every day, turning your life into an endless run for approval and a pathetic attempt to smooth over the edges? True power in a relationship belongs to the one who is least afraid of losing it. If you fear conflict, you are already in slavery. Dark psychology teaches that your frame is your only real currency in the world of social interactions. As soon as you give up the frame, you give up everything. We created this community for those who have finally outgrown the role of the nice guy and are ready for radical honesty in managing their destiny. If you want access to private protocols for managing relationship dynamics and influence techniques that are never discussed publicly because of their hardness, click the button to join our inner circle. There we share knowledge for the architects of their reality, who know how to hold the line in any situation. Subscribe to the channel right now and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next critical lesson on power over yourself and the world. Every video we make is another layer of armor for your personality. Write the phrase, "I hold the frame," in the comments if this episode opened your eyes to how you are actually being tested. Your stories in the comments help other members of our circle see the code inside the matrix. Be vigilant. Be free. See you at the top.